but sometimes the ones that are enabling them need a lot more work than them so that they stop doing that. Hello, my name is Pej. I'm an interventionist. I help a lot of people with drug addiction, alcoholism, and mental health. Today's topic is when an addict or alcoholic gets help, they should never get well too fast. And the reason that I say this is obviously when I was myself new in recovery, which I'm 16 years sober now, I had a lot of grand ideas of things I wanted to go out and do in the world, and I was really in a hurry to go do it, and I was kind of neglecting my own spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional growth as opposed to like really doing the internal work. I wanted to go out and do external work. I wanted to get a great, huge job and do lots of stuff. And somebody warned me early on in recovery. They said, don't get well too fast. You have a lot of work to do, a lot of internal work. And so, now when I am called on to help people get the help that they need, often if I put somebody in treatment, I will get reports from the family that he wants to leave early, or he wants to leave after a certain amount of time and go right back to where he was before. And depending on the person and what kind of thing that they were set up in, if they were inside a house or something where they were being enabled, or they were basically harboring their addiction, we want to make sure that that gets prevented. If a person wants to go back and try to do it on their own and live on their own, so be it. But I always encourage them to stay longer, stay the course, do the deep-rooted work that it takes to really find yourself before you run out and try to do all the other things, the worldly things that you think are going to fill you up and make you feel good. Obviously, the point of helping someone is to not just get them to stop drinking or stop using, but it's to put them in a position where they're either taught, coached, therapeutically walked through, or spiritually walked through steps that it takes to be able to get sober and stay sober long term. So a lot of people think that, well, I did this for the family, or sometimes people don't like that somebody intervened on their life and put them into a position where it's time to get them help. So they're just counting days. And I often tell those people, are you counting days or making days count? When you get into that type of environment, you want to do the deep-rooted work and really find what it is that kept you going back to the drugs or kept you going back to the alcohol, and what you're going to do differently so that you don't go back in that direction again. That consists of a lot of things. If a person gets into the path of recovery, it's good to build a support system, whether it's in the town where they get sober or the towns where they want to go back to, but also to stay plugged into certain people that are mentors, people that are sometimes sponsors in a 12-step world that will guide you, that will take you through some kind of process to be able to really embrace your recovery and make it be your number one. And another thing that's really important is for a person to own their stuff, to be able to admit that they did a lot of wrong, that they hurt a lot of people. I think most addicts and alcoholics deep in their core know that they could be abusive verbally, sometimes physically, sometimes mentally towards others, and really hold people hostage and put them in a position to where they feel helpless and hopeless. And when you get to know the magnitude of the way that you behaved and you really take ownership for that, you don't want to just run off and go do something else. The best people that I've seen great outcomes for are the ones that stay humble, the ones that come into the recovery process and they say, listen, I don't know anything and I need to be taught, like spoon-fed, what the program is, day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. Just show me how to do this. I don't want to make any decisions based off of self, because if I do that, a lot of times I've actually had it blow back up in my face. And that's my whole thing, is to try to teach them. Also, the family start freaking out when the person starts making these plans to go back and do things the way they want. And I often tell the family, how about this? How about doing everything differently than you did before? I'm not telling you that you should kick the person out forever, but definitely have them prove to you that they can work on themselves enough to the point where they probably eventually don't even want to come back to your house. They want to go live on their own and become self-supporting by their own contributions. It's a lot of work to be done. It's not just the individual that I intervene on. A lot of times I find myself having to deal with certain scenarios where, yes, there is a said person that has an addiction problem who we're trying to help, but sometimes the ones that are enabling them need a lot more work than them so that they stop doing that and the umbilical cord gets cut. If you're struggling and you have somebody that needs help or has gotten help but is trying to do things their way again, you can always give me a call at 310-596-9356. My name is Pej. I'm an interventionist.